early 2010s YouTube gameplay background music. Just constant in my head. Anyway, we got the jukebox going. We
True.
all ready?
Yes.
Okie
'Cause
doke.
I'm a juke.
You a juke maniac. Alright, before I get distracted again. Who wants to recap what happened last time? I volunteered Joe, because he remembers everything that happened last time. With excruciating detail.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's see. I will read my notes from the last session that is here, which is 21 question mark. I lost track of the episode count is the name of the episode. What? Listen, you can have my notes that are shit, or you can have no notes.
No, I'm sorry. It's like you got 19 and then 21 question mark.
What kind of a fucking chaotic energy are we going into this session with?
No,
Welcome to
okay.
Rogues. This is appropriate for this
This is
campaign.
par for the course. All right. You got listen. For some reason, more than half the time when I run this game, I'm on the upswing of a manic episode. So it's always like this.
Something. We were going to throw a party to get the attention of the Growlhund family so that we could nefariously break into their house and get something?
Trying to find proof of where
Demonic weirdness. That
Yeah.
I just got to that part in my notes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's not like any one particular thing that we know that they have that we want. It's just we know that their name has been tied to a demonic cult in the city in kind of a loose way currently.
You know they are. They kind of sus.
Yeah, they're kind of sus. There's a whole bunch of shit about them that is kind of sus. It was an entire session essentially in the tavern, filling in on various back and forth of like everybody filling Clint in on what they found and Clint filling everybody else in on the shit he was up to, because the night before Clint was on a solo mission chasing his horse and running into old enemies? Rivals?
Yes.
I wouldn't say they're enemies.
Really? You wouldn't say that?
Not exactly.
Well, she shot him, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Clint showing Feyre what he is, and Feyre having a slight mental like, that's not good. But nobody else knows right now.
Right. Oh shit.
Oh, right. Also, I told you guys about Intelligent Cube, I think.
What?
Intelligent Cube. Didn't I go on an Intelligent Cube rant last session? Or was that last Runelord session?
Can you give me a little more context on what intelligent cube means?
You don't know about
Intelligent-
the intelligent cube.
Well, we got an
Yes,
info
don't.
dump. We got some info dump on Wisteria about Sister.
Yes, we did get that, which is actually important.
Yeah.
Was talked about her sister a bit, and revealed that as part of the cause of why she is the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
Feyre
Yeah.
has decided she's a pelican.
Yes,
Yes.
because Mysteria swallowed an entire muffin in one go.
She's just a funky little guy.
And then I forget why we were going to the antique stealer.
It was a friend of Wist's. Oh, because in the paper, I remember now, saw that the robberies in the city were jewelry shops and antique dealers, antique shops. There was something funky going on there. And I think that was the correlation there, because Wist knows one. It's her knick-knack dealer.
Yeah,
Her knick-knack launderer.
Mm-hmm. Launderer, sorry.
strange
Gnogabone?
the strange thefts that are happening where they don't take everything or they destroy a whole bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been going on for a while because Nice had mentioned it to Pharaoh before. And Clint thinks his rival was in on one of the things last night. Or adjacent to it or something. Somehow tangled in with it. And so we're trying to figure out... I forget what we're trying to figure out specifically, though. Like... This is a problem.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Figure out maybe why, I think you guys are going for. I think someone mentioned asking if that happened to this person. And I think someone mentioned possibly trying to set up that place as a potential target.
Maybe.
To try to catch them in the act, maybe? I don't know. I think that was something someone said.
We can do that.
All I know is that y'all planned on going there.
Yes. We
Alright.
we ended the session with Feyre like, okay, everybody out. We're heading out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And now... Sorry, I'm trying to find a thing I had saved.
I just fucking processed. We've seen this picture a million times at this point. I just fucking
What?
processed that those are griffins.
Yeah. They fly around. Think the city guard uses them?
Big babies.
Mm-hmm. For one of the quests, it's possible to interact with one.
Yes.
But yes, in fact, those are a thing. You see those a couple times a week, flying overhead. Put this here. Sorry. I'm a little bit of a mess. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit of a mess all the time.
Aren't we all?
Same.
Yeah. It do in fact be like that. Okay, I think we left off last time with Olia arriving there?
I don't think we had arrived there yet, but if we was
Oh.
going to skip the walk, then short.
Oh yeah, if you guys want to, or if you want to, honestly, some talk of making a plan if you guys want on the way there.
No idea. No clue. No problem.
Not a great lot for plans. These three.
Nope. Very fair. Very fair.
Farah. Get it?
Oh boy.
Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Open the settings. Okay. Things are difficult. There are trying times.
Difficult,
Secret.
difficult, lemon, difficult.
Difficult. Very difficult. How about a 45? Okay, how about a 44?
What the fuck are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we arrive outside the antique shop. What does it look like?
Give me a second. I'm putting this shit together.
This is after you spend at least an hour in call fucking around with tier lists.
Leave me alone. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I was organizing. I switched
7
the
different
entire
things.
filing system I had.
Shh! Stop arguing with us!
For-
Finish what
okay.
you're doing!
I already finished it. Okay, now I'm trying to defend myself. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Okay. So, you all arrive. I assume you guys walked?
Yeah.
Or did you commandeer Ashley's carriage?
So Ashley is supposedly supposed to be coming with us. We're commandeering the carriage.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, you guys come up to a shop. It's in... Let's see. Oh, shit. This shop is in Tradesward. It's not too far. But it's a good, ride. But it passes by swiftly enough. Again, the festival is still going on. You still see a lot of celebrations, but you also see a lot of games out and about. It's kind of like a carnival, actually. There's lots of stalls with different games and different foods and different activities compared to the previous days you've had. Because today is conveniently placed flyer that flies in the wind. Ludus. Playful, flirtatious love. Lots of games, lots of talking, lots of people milling about. It's a fun time all around. As you guys are traveling through the city, you arrive, stopping after hearing Wisteria's directions. How good is she at directions?
No.
Okay.
No.
It takes you a while. What could have been a 45-minute carriage ride takes an hour and a half.
I feel like Wisteria gives directions, and she's like, when you feel the wind start to feel like the fucking breeze coming off of this particular flower's dew. And everyone's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Okay. So what could have been a simple here to here turns into a
Fucking
here.
finally, Farah's just like, you know what? Fuck it. What's the name of this shop? Stops and asks a guard. Do you know where this is?
The guard gives you very concise directions. You guys passed it 4 times.
Wisteria's convinced that her directions were precise.
And of course they were. Of course they were. How else could you have gotten to your destination? But you guys pull in front of this shop, and you see outside of it, you see the name written in the sign itself is made of a very dark aged oak. And on it, the wood itself is very dark brown, but the lettering itself is black with a gray outline that says Sable Antiques. And as you all enter, the first thing you notice is the smell. And then the clutter. But it's not cluttered in a way that's messy. It's cluttered in the way that there is just so many items, very neatly and particularly arranged. But everywhere you look, there's a shelf. And there's a smaller shelf below that, another shelf on top of that, each one displaying various different knickknacks and statues and items. In the center is an incense burner that smells faintly of mint and a type of fruit you can't quite place your finger on where it's from. Um, and the lighting itself is more dim than you would expect. It's not as bright as it is in the picture. It's probably like a little bit darker. You can still clearly see everything, but it's slightly a bit more like grayscale a little bit from the dimness. And the lights are kind of focused more on the items themselves than actually giving like light to people passing by. You don't see anyone at the counter as of yet, but as you walk through the door, you pass by a little wooden, for lack of a better term, a wooden cuckoo clock that as you pass by starts working, and the little bird pops out and lets out a little chirp chirp, like the cuckoo sound. As if instead of a bell, this place has this cuckoo clock set to alert anyone walking in.
Figure kind of squints around the shop and then squints over at the clock and then looks around again and will lift a hand and kind of shake a finger at Clint. And you don't go break nothing, right?
I would never. He puts like his hands on his hips in this very frustrated kind of like, how could you say that?
See, last time I went in a shop with you, you knocked everything over.
That's not true. I fired a grappling hook at a bookcase. Totally different.
You will not be doing that here, will you? Because these books are very rare.
No, why would I ever shoot a grappling hook inside of a place like this? Besides, I already know it works. I don't need to test it. And he holds up the grappling hook he used.
There's a look of just pure fear in Wisteria's face.
Farrah just kind of crosses her arms, kind of studying Clint, and then shakes her head. That's a lost cause. They're going to be paying for something. Steps further into the shop, kind of not like looking super, super close at anything, but, browsing.
Browsing, you say?
And really quick, you said the name of the shop was Sable's what?
Sable Antiques.
Sable Antiques. Okay.
Yes. Or however you spell antiques, but sable,
Yeah.
like that.
Antiques.
Right. So if you're browsing, roll me a d40.
Okay.
Get something good.
12. Palindrome!
21.
Joe, roll a 12.
Oh, we all roll one. Okay, hold on.
If you're looking around.
Fair enough. I will not roll a 12 though.
Joe! You had one job!
No, I refuse.
Oh, fucking beeps. Hold on.
I swear, if Amy has turned into the I have not put batteries in my fire alarm beep person, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Anyway,
That's a yes.
give me a second. No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said, actually. I was very busy doing things.
Did you put batteries in your your smoke detector?
What did you guys roll? What were these numbers again?
That's a yes.
I rolled a new gun, level 7, and
Level 7.
let's see,
Fucking
a
level are
deck
you
of
guys
cards.
We're at 5.
Level 5? Okay, I was about to say, like, how the fuck you gonna skip 2 levels, my dude?
Because we rolled it.
No,
Yeah,
you
we
didn't.
rolled level 7.
It says it right there.
Mm-mm. No.
21 is divisible by 7. Ergo.
That's true.
QED.
That's
Joe,
math.
back me up on this.
Quick facts.
And you like math, Amy.
That's true, you do.
Okay, hold on. Ah, fuck. I'm sorry, I had a thing. Okay, there's 1. There's 2. And then there's 3. Okay, cool. Alright. So, as you guys are, looking around, you hear the thumping of someone upstairs, walking around. And, Whist, you would know that, she kind of takes a while to come down.
Not.
Yeah, she's on her way. She is aware of your existence and your presence. But she's on her way. She has very important things to do at the moment, leaving you all to peruse. And we'll start with whoever rolled first. Kira, you find 2 items. The first one you find, it looks like a fabric bag. And as you touch it, you see that, oh, there's bits of metal in it, right? Connected to it. But as you pick it up, it kind of unfolds, and you see that you have bagpipes, essentially.
Oh
This
my
is racist.
Dude, I shit you not. That's number 12.
So racist. You gave the Scott bagpipes?
I shit you not.
Bro. Oh man, hold on. Roll something here.
I will screenshot you number 12.
Okay. Wisteria looks at these bagpipes and inherently understands them and starts to play.
Now who's
Oh my
racist?
god.
I was about to say,
Roll for it.
how dare you assume just because I'm Scottish I can play the back.
Oh my god. Okay, Kira, you're gonna find out why I'm laughing so much in a second. Whew, okay. So you guys can, at the corner of your eye, you guys see Wisp pull up, pick this up, and it turns into bagpipes. And I feel like at first, does she look offended at all?
No, she doesn't.
No,
I think she
she
would actually
doesn't.
look delighted.
She looks very happy and immediately starts playing. And you guys see that you guys can hear her start playing. And as soon as the first note rings out, she disappears. You can still hear the music. However, you cannot see her. Whist, you found bagpipes of invisibility. Must be played to cause effect.
Favorite kind of blinks. See her rub her eye. Blinks again. Looks at Clint. You're not allowed to start playing nothing. I don't care what you find.
He just smiles back at her, and he looks at the invisible space where Wisteria was, and bagpipe music has now filled in the absence. And he looks back, looks back at you, and just goes, "Right, no bagpipes."
All right. The other thing you find, Wisteria, right next to it, is looks like a backpack. And you see that it has a label on this one and it's called Trapper's Bag.
I'm gonna rule that Wisteria's too pleased right now. She's just happy as a clam, like walking, pacing this tiny little strip of walkable space in the shop, just tooting away.
Rootin'
And-
and tootin'.
Okay. Now, for clarity, in case you couldn't guess, the two items you guys rolled, one is from a list I made years ago titled Shitty Magic Items, and then the other is an actual magic item.
I don't know what you're talking about. Bagpipes of invisibility are completely legitimate.
Yep, you guys can just hear her moving. You just hear the source of the bagpipes as she's moving. You can't see her though.
Wait a fucking second. Amy,
What?
this is racist on 2 levels. Because
Wow.
not only is the fucking bagpipes racist, Wisteria's already invisible to start with.
Oh no!
Wow.
But now everyone's gonna notice her. They're gonna think, wait, where are those bagpipes coming from?
It's an upgrade for her.
Okay. So the second one, Clint, what you find is you find a small, it's about the size of like a handball, and looks like a little plush in the shape of a tiny red dragon.
Like
And
like a Beanie Baby almost.
yeah, like a Beanie Baby. However, as you pick it up and you squeeze it, you see that the eyes like bulge out and the wings kind of flap a little bit and expand. It's a stress ball.
Well, of course
Yeah.
Clint is going to start squeezing it like fucking crazy.
Okay, cool. And how close are Thera and Wisteria to Clint at the moment?
Wisteria's in the bagpipe dimension.
Okay,
Say Feyre's not like shoulder to shoulder with him. She's probably a little bit more than arm's reach.
okay, but still close. Okay. I have a question for you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
How stressed does Clint feel?
Not.
Okay.
He is
Cool.
not is like zero stress in the man's body. He is squeezing it because it is fun to squeeze.
He
Okay.
found a fidget toy.
Yes. Okay, so essentially what this one does, this is a stress toy that when you squeeze it, you yourself get less stressed. However, those around you essentially take on that stress. Temporarily, as long as you are squeezing it.
Huh.
And it gets split up by more people, you know? Like, say someone's super stressed, and there's one other person in the vicinity, they just take on that stress a little bit. They probably take on half of it. And then if there's more and more people, they take on more and more of it. Essentially. So
Interesting.
that's a little red dragon stress toy you have there. And another thing that catches your eye is you see something very shiny and gold on the shelf right above it. Kind of at eye view. And you see that it looks like a monocle. And you see that it's in this very fancy, like, glass case. And engraved onto the glass case is the label Detective's Monocle. Now, Feyre. Oh, I skipped over you by accident. Did not mean to. You got 21.
So is it a HDMI to USB, right?
Yes. I don't know. It was your. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Love you.
Love you too.
Fine. When I
Bye.
die.
You,
You know,
I said I love
going
you.
out-
Bye.
going out
Drive
to
safe.
the evil world.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm.
I said the things. I said bye. I love you. Drive safe. I don't know what else you want from me. Anyway, Farah, what catches your eye at first is a set of rings. And one of them looks to have a bright ruby in the center of a silver, or inlaid into a silver metal.
It's like a set of like actual like jewelry rings.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And essentially, what this does, if you pick it up to inspect it, you kind of see that as you twist it, it kind of disappears a little bit, as if it gets thinner. And then you turn it back, and it's like a regular ring again. And the other thing you find on a shelf adjacent to that one is a small pouch of marbles.
Marbles.
She's kind of looking at both of them. She's not going to put on a ring that she does not own, unfortunately.
Yep.
She'll kind of open
Farah
the bag
got
of
all the party
marbles.
sense.
Yeah, and she's like, I know I'm a thief. I don't need to look like a thief when I'm not even doing any thieving. So we're not gonna do that. But she will open the bag and kind of look inside at the marbles, see if they're shiny.
They're very shiny. There's a bunch of different colors.
I swear if this is another bag of beans situation.
It is not a bit. Hold on, wait.
Maybe bag of beans. We're gonna be fun.
Hold on. You see that it's labeled pouch of method marbles.
Method? Like elemental method?
MEPHIT.
Elemental method. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also see that the ring itself has a label. And it's... I lost the name.
Oh no!
Carry on. Never mind.
But I need to know what the I already wrote. Farah finds a bag of method marbles and a ring labeled blank.
Okay. Where the fuck is it?
A ring labeled where the fuck is it?
Okay.
The ring-
No, I found it. Okay. You... Here it is. The ring is labeled a knockout ring.
A knockout.
Yes.
She's kind of little confused.
Mhm.
Doesn't just her shit's not going to do anything. So she's also, I think, smart enough to be like, methods.
Mhm.
Not gonna touch that right now.
Okay. This is actually a pretty good one, actually. I'll tell you that your, the ring, I'll just tell you what it does. Because I told the other ones what their, like, quote-unquote shitty magic item does. It essentially gives, +1, damage to unarmed strikes.
Cool. So I'd be rolling at a straight 0. Because I have a -1.
Yep. Okay. But at this time, as you guys are all perusing, you guys looked at your items. You found fun item and item of interest. TM. Out comes down a stairwell, and out from a door behind the counter, you see. I'm in the wrong server. There we go. You see a woman with white hair and a large black hat and a dress that has a sort of like cape petticoat at first that you think. At purple and drapes around herself, and they kind of look like wings. And then as she turns and rounds the corner, and she fixes one of the 2 feathers in her cap, you see that, 2 of her arms are mechanical of some sort. They're metal and wood, and you see that they have this purple energy through them. You see the small, tiny little bits of runes stick out where they're carved in the metal as they are busy smoothing out her jacket of sorts that looks very moth-themed, as one of her real hands are fixing one of the feathers poking out of her hat. The feathers are kind of moving a little bit as she's futzing with it. She rounds a corner and takes her place behind the counter. And she gives a slight bow. And is Wisteria visible? Or is she still playing?
She's still tootin', rootin' and tootin'. She'll stop. She'll slow her tootin' once she sees the antique dealer coming down, but she's still kind of tootin'.
Okay, as long as she is tootin', she is invisible.
Can I roll something to try and triangulate the fucking bagpipe noise?
Yeah. Honestly, it's not that hard. You're in. Roll survival at advantage. Alright, Kira, do you think an 18 is enough to find
Oh,
this?
100%.
Yep.
You know exactly where she is.
Feyre just kind of like pauses, looks up from where she is kind of examining the objects that she has picked up, blinks at this woman for a second. You see her open her mouth to say something. Particularly loud fucking bagpipe noise, close her mouth, and just kind of tilt her head, and her tail just snakes out and snaps around the like lower pipe of the bagpipe where your hands are. It kind of yanks just a little bit.
The note goes flat.
It makes a ridiculous sound, and Wisteria just kind of stops. Bagpipe music stops suddenly, and she looks around confused. She's just looking around. Oh, wait, you could hear that. You could hear that. Oh, hey. Sorry about that.
Ferret still not looking at her, tail still wrapped around the fucking pipe, pulling it just a little bit lower to get further away from her mouth. Just kind of shakes her head slightly. I'm assuming you're going to be the owner of this here shop. Is she the owner of this here shop? Looks back over at Wisteria.
Aye, that's Dusky. Wisteria... Oh, go on.
No, go ahead.
Wisteria looks over the gathered party and smiles somewhat sheepishly and waves. Dusky, I brought friends.
You see Duskmorn, she smiles at seeing Whist, and then she hesitates and pauses at what Whist says before the hand that was like fixing the feather in her cap like moves down to her mouth as like a gasp as she uses the two more mechanical arms to lean up onto the counter as she leans forward, and her eyes are narrowed in on Farah and Clint.
Clint will wiggle his fingers in a wave and be like, "Hello."
Still furiously squeezing the fucking dragon.
Yeah.
You see, she looks at two of you. She turns to Asteria. She looks back at Farah and Clint. Oh my goodness, Wisteria! You've made friends! Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know Whist? I thought nobody knew Whist.
She told us. You know what? Nope, we're not. Nope.
Oh, didn't razzle him like that. He's right. No, nobody knows me. But Dusky over there, she hasn't been home in centuries. And so, when I showed up over here, I stopped by, reintroduced myself. I didn't know nothing about human life. And she helped me out. Ever since then, I've been stopping by to visit. I never really thought I'd bring more friends. I was so happy just to have Dusky and Fala, and now there are more of you.
Wait, so Cheese, you of the Fey persuasion just like Cheese.
Oh, so they know. They know? Wisteria.
Oh, I didn't exactly tell them, but I suppose they do. A bit. I didn't know the whole business, but they know most of it.
She nods. She nods. And you guys see that her posture kind of relaxes a little bit. And the two feathers in her cap start moving a bit. As you guys realize, those are not feathers. Those are antennae. And the wing-themed petticoat that she's wearing shifts a little bit to kind of rest behind her, like a pair of wings would naturally rest.
I didn't know they made you in those sizes. Thought you were all. She's like two fingers gestures for sprinkle sized.
It's like, we come in all sorts of sizes. Now, Wisteria, is there business for me, or is it just a happy visit with your new friends?
Would you be upset if I said it was a bit of both?
I wouldn't say upset. I was hoping that I could just get to know your new friends. Who are you both?
Clint will stick his hand out immediately, and I meant to mention, he puts the monocle on. He's wearing the monocle while he squeezes the stress toy in his offhand. And he will extend his hand, his free right hand, and he'll say, "My name is Clint Redletter. It is a pleasure to meet you."
Clint? Pleasure to meet you too. And she like shakes his hand and kind of like gives him a once over, kind of like leans in a bit to like study him a little more. And you see through her circular purple lenses, you see her eyes, her irises are pure white. And kind of glint through the glass. She turns to Thera, now studying her.
Just kind of 2-finger salute. His name's Favor.
You see one of her mechanical arms returns the 2-finger salute before it gestures for Wisteria to come closer. Kind of like in a come here.
Wisteria does come closer. She is holding these bagpipes like they are a treasured nephew.
Specifically nephew.
Yes, specifically.
Right, because it's a different vibe. Okay. But she gestures for Whist to come closer and to like come to the edge of the counter. Along the side. And she's, if Whist allows it, she's going to take one of her real hands and kind of like tug Whist closer into whispering range.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She's going to whisper into Whist's ear. She uses she has like one of her real hands on Whist's shoulder as she pulls her in, and one of her mechanical hands has come up to like kind of like cup the side of her mouth to try and block the whispering. It doesn't work all that much, but the effect, the intent of this is a secret is there. And let me roll something real quick. Unfortunately, it does nothing. Feyre and Clint can both clearly hear what she is whispering, because she's not very quiet. As she goes to Whist. Wistaria. Now, who? What? Why? You need to tell me everything. How did you meet them? They look so interesting. Were they at your clinic? Did they give you an odd knickknack they need me to trade you for something?
Actually, they didn't like knickknacks.
She looks over to them. She looks back at Whist. They don't like knickknacks.
Well, they didn't get it. I gave them a flute. What, when you blow into it?
Is that the one I gave you last month?
That's the one! I tried to trade it for some drinks and they said it wasn't money.
Wisteria, I've told you time and time again. Humans and humanoids and people of this plane and city, especially this city, they like to trade in money, dear.
But that's so boring. It's just...
I know, there's no flair to it, but you need to trade in money with these people.
Wisteria just starts rooting around in her bags. And she pulls out a glass eye that in her hand just keeps like listing about. Like something is looking out of it. Like the iris and the pupil keep moving around.
Is that a beady eye?
Essentially. And she kind of holds it up to Dusky, and she's like, "Are you saying I couldn't have traded you this for the bagpipes?"
That is a hard bargain. You see, I just got that in last week. You know, just for you, you can have them for this trade.
Whist actually smiles. She hands over the eye, and she just like hugs the bagpipes closer.
She'll take the eye and put it into a small little like glass chest she has behind the counter. And she turns to the others and she's like, right, well, are you all here to buy something or no? Are you here to chit chat? I'm I'd love to talk with you all. Get to know Whist's friends. It's so rare that happens. I'm so excited.
We are here to talk, but not so much on the get to know you, more of the, well, figuring out some shit that's going on in the city.
Oh. All right.
But they did
But?
bring you gifts.
She turns to Farah and Clint. You brought me a gift. And, like, two of her hands come together to, like, clasp in front of her mouth. In kind of this praying motion.
Fair just kind of like pauses, and there's just a tiny, tiny frown. And Whist gets a little bit of a look of like, she wasn't gonna ask for something. Why'd you remind her that we have to bring her something? And just kind of shrugs. Well, you know, I honestly don't have much of anything that's actually physical. I can tell you a story if you want, but that's about it. He's got something.
I love stories. The stories are so fun. But what do you have? Turns to Clint.
He, like, blinks for a second and puts a hand on his chin. And he like, curls his arm that's squeezing the dragon stress ball under his elbow, and then puts his other hand on his chin and starts tapping and thinking. Still wearing the monocle. He just goes, Well, I also got stories. I got plenty of stories. Like you were saying, humans don't really like to do the whole money thing. I know from experience. And he puts a hand up beside his mouth, being a human. But this one time, me and my brother, we went all the way down the southern edge of the Sword Coast, way past Waterdeep. And we ran into a bunch of mermaids who were all interested in all sorts of weird stuff, and they didn't want anything to do with money. And he's gonna go on about this nonsense story, assuming she wants to hear it.
She is paying so much attention.
She Farah's mouth open to interrupt him and stop him because she's like, you fucking made a bullet, and then realizes that this woman doesn't seem to care that there is not something physical, and just like slowly closes her mouth. It just lets it happen.
He goes all the way on about this story about how he and his brother and their two friends met some mermaids way down on the southern part of the Sword Coast past Waterdeep, and they made a trade with them and traded like garbage and scraps just so they could get like some supposedly magic shells and whatever bullshit. Turns out none of the shells were magic, at least in a way that humans could use, because they were only mermaid magic. And like, it is a long and winding story that ends with, or that that could easily be summed up as, yeah, we traded some mermaids a bunch of like adventuring gear we had that wasn't very worthwhile for seashells that were non-magical.
Halfway through the story, she reaches under the counter and she pulls out a cup and a teapot and a set of cups. And you don't see her put anything into the teapot, but you see that she just slowly starts pouring glasses of tea from it. Or like little cups of tea. She takes one and she like leaves them out. There's 3 more, one for each of you.
Whist will happily take a cup of tea and lean over to Dusky and go, see, this is why you can't trust river nymphs.
She nods. No, but she'll listen to the story.
He'll finish up and be like, so that's why you should never ever pack 31 arrows and trade them for $10. At least from mermaids, because I don't think they know how to properly enchant sand dollars.
And she nods and takes a sip. She's like, I thought that was some common sense these days.
Clint just puts his one hand on his hip, and as if he's super wise to this issue, and he just goes, "That's the thing about common sense. If it's so common, where is it at?"
She nods.
Feyre would have taken the tea after a careful couple of sniffs at it, am I about to die if I drink this? And then just starts wandering the shop again. Clint's on his bullshit.
Uh-huh. You see that the tea itself is pink. And you guys see that it smells like hibiscus.
Fancy people shit.
Mm-hmm. But the story happens. You wander the shop. And she gives a little clap to Clint. It's that was quite a story. Now, you said you were all here to talk things about the city. Or did you say business? Or both? I got a bit distracted.
Feyre's head pops up from the opposite side of the store now. A bit of both.
Right, well, which one would you like to tackle first?
I imagine out of a fine, upstanding establishment like this, you have heard about the misfortunes of the other antique dealers and jewelry makers and everything in the city.
Oh, it is absolutely dreadful. I hate what's happening to them. It's unfortunate, really. I read in the paper the other day.
You at all concerned about your establishment then?
Well, of course I am concerned. It'd be a bit too much excitement, even for me. Though it is a bit boring these days, but no, getting robbed and my inventory destroyed would not be exciting. I'm a bit worried, but...
Well, I don't suppose you would have talked to any of the other owners of these shops amongst all this time, find out what exactly was stolen or destroyed from them.
Well, I did talk to one of them, but I don't really like her. She's a bit too... dramatic, even for me. And then he was just a grumpy grouch 50 years ago, but his grandson did take over the store. He's a bit nicer. I did talk to him a bit. And then I talked to those two, that couple. Everyone that's had the robbery. It's always been mostly larger pieces that have been destroyed. Things that can house other things. Drawers, nightstands, desks, wardrobes, jewelry boxes especially. There's hardly any left in the city. I think I have one of the last two remaining in the antique shops.
So it's all been containers and shit then?
Yes, for some reason. Though there was this one bed set. You know, the wooden frame around a bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did we lose?
Kira died.
Kira, no.
Kira! Oh
Renewed.
Oh my god.
Damn it.
no! Welcome back!
Liar. You just wanted to make the noise.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I forgot about that.
Oh, fuck.
Just immediately heard both of us fucking die inside.
Oh, fuck. Fuck. What was I saying? What was she saying? Shit. Oh, right. There was one bed frame that was destroyed, but that was the only bit of non-container furniture, and that was pretty early on. It's a bit sad. It was such a good piece. I wanted to get it for myself.
Is the moss not working for you anymore?
Fashion and trends change with the time, Wisteria. You need to learn this if you want to live among humans.
Aye, but moss is soft and fluffy, and it's a wee bit, refreshing in the mornings, isn't it?
But it's not in style anymore. It hasn't been for about 75 years now. And I'm getting ahead of myself. We can talk the latest fashion trends later. But it's typically containers that are destroyed. A bit sad, too.
Would you happen to know what's the taken from the jewelry stores, or is it just jewelry boxes from the jewelry stores?
Well, I know for sure what's happened in the antique side. And what I've heard from the antique stores that do a bit of both is all of the pearl-like jewelry are gone. The diamonds aren't really touched, which is very unusual for thieves. I think that they might have just gotten some inspiration from something, maybe. Stealing diamonds is so cliche. At least you're doing something original for once. But it's mostly pearl and stones rather than clear diamonds that are being taken. And I mean opaque stones, not precious ones.
Okay, pause there.
Mm-hmm.
This is a question for Amy and Joe, because this happened before Kira came and I was not there for the session.
Okie doke.
Wasn't the crown that you guys had to steal like a pearl crown of some sort?
Fuck, I don't remember.
No, that was a separate thing. The you're talking about the heist with the
Museum.
the museum heist where we stole. Yeah, that's a
I'm
separate
clear
thing.
right now. That was separate.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something that
Corey.
Corey? I was like, it's not Corey. Yeah, that's
No.
something that Corey made.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it was
essentially,
confused for like an actual thing. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So essentially what's happening is that for the antique stores, all of the containers, all of the things that can hold another thing, desks, jewelry boxes, wardrobes, drawers, nightstands, boxes, those are all being destroyed. For jewelry stores, all of the pearls and all of the like non-translucent stone jewelry and items are being stolen. All of the like translucent precious gems aren't being touched. So all the diamonds, the rubies, the emeralds, those aren't being stolen.
But it's like the
But
pearl
all
and the
of-
jade and shit like that.
Yeah, the pearl, the jade, especially the jade, things like tiger's eye, like all of the opaque ones that could pass as a normal stone, or as long as they're opaque and not translucent, those are being taken. And those are just indiscriminately earrings, jewelry, loose ones, bracelets, anything that has a precious stone that is opaque and pearl are getting taken.
Okay. Feyre just kind of nods as she's listening
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of rubs the back of her neck after a moment. Well, since you are such a good friend of Whist here.
Of course, we go way back. Sort of. Not really.
Well, we had some thoughts and concerns about these thieves, and well, you said you want a little bit of excitement going on in your life. How about we add a little bit of spice around here?
I'm listening. You see that her antennae kind of just kind of shot up a little bit and kind of twitched.
How would you like to help catch these thieves?
Can catch these thieves. I'm listening even more now. What's this plan?
Well, it might. She kind of is like looking between Whist and Clint. Like, well, you got a mighty fine establishment here, and like you said, you have one of the, or at least the last couple of jewelry boxes, the antique stores, and everything. So,
I do.
I imagine this place is already on the list of to go break into and bust up a little bit.
It might be.
How about we lay out a nice little trap for him?
A trap? Here? To catch the thieves?
Yeah. Good. I mean, I'll give you a chance to like take away all the things that you really, really, really don't want them to touch or mess with or nothing, and go ahead and stash them away. And we can see about trying to entice them over this direction.
See, on one hand, I don't want any of my inventory to be broken, because that's just dreadful to deal with. You should have seen what happened 50 years ago when someone's pet got loose here. It knocked over 10 shelves. On the other hand, things have been very boring lately. Incredibly boring. This would be exciting.
Like I said, you could take all the real expensive stuff, real fine stuff that you have, and just like stash away upstairs or something. So it's not gonna get broken. And well, the rest of this, some things might be broken. I'm not gonna lie to you about that, but it's a little bit more intentional, and then there's gonna be somebody here to, I don't know, stop it.
Gib. Gib can puke.
Oh shit. Can I still do my stuffs?
No.
Fuck. Okay,
Just move.
hold on.
Just move.
Ah!
Just move.
Okay, I'm moving. Jesus. Fuck. You okay? Alright. Roll me, persuasion. And I might disappear. Briefly.
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm going to disappear very briefly. So, 5-minute break.
Oh boy. My persuasion's not that great.
I've only got a 1.
Hey, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that's pretty decent, actually.
Coming up with this shit out of my ass. 'Cause I don't know what we were supposed to be here for.
I mean, this is a pretty solid plan, I think.
Mm-hmm. Farah, take the wheel.
Oh, don't do that.
Take it from my hands. Cause I can't fucking do this.
All I'm learning now is that fucking Clint is Fey Kryptonite. Just let Clint start talking, and the fucking Fays like lose their shit. They get so distracted. It's like the old like fairy tales, like, you know, spill rice and they have to count every single like grain of rice or some shit. Just have Clint start talking and they are distracted.
I need to sit down and like come up with more of these hacky story ideas so I can write down the details so I have it on the like at the drop of a hat.
D100 list of like bullshit story concept.
Oh, you're super right. I could make a D100 list of like place, a verb, and noun, and then every one of those combinations is a story from Clint and his brother. That's genius. This is why we pay you the big bucks. This would be the first D100 table I would be making for a character.
Back when I was playing on Map Tool, I don't know if you guys ever played on Map Tool, but back when I was playing on Map Tool, I made a custom, like, I think it went up to like 50 with 1 and 2 with adjective noun combinations for pet names one of the NPCs would use for people.
I have never heard of that thing you mentioned, that tool.
Map Tool?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's back in like 2010. It was how I played tabletop games before Roll20 was a thing. So it was like this JavaScript thing, and you could host a server, but people would need to know like your server addresses and shit, and you'd need to like port forward correctly. It was a whole thing.
It sounds like worse Foundry.
I haven't messed with Foundry, but it's certainly more customizable, but objectively worse. Roll20.
Okay, interesting. Go on then.
But like
the D100 list, yeah.
Yeah, well, I made the D100 list, and because you could do like HTML coding in it, like I like color coded some of them and stuff like that. And you could get very into the macros there and how they would register on other people's screens. I got so intricate with the macros for those characters, and all of that is lost, wiped away. Like tears in the rain.
Oh my god. You would love Foundry because that is Foundry's whole deal. You should join my weird game because that is on Foundry and I use it a lot. I have a critical wounds table.
The problem with that is that I usually work on Sundays, which is weird day, isn't it?
But if you can swing it's the upside downside of like we like having the early Sunday games because then we play long games, but we've already talked about potentially if we ever start up a Call of Cthulhu on Sundays, moving it to the evening for you.
Yeah, the evening would almost always work on a Sunday for me.
I'm sure Joe would not necessarily mind.
No, I would be super down with that.
Yeah, I shall consider this. Weird is weird fantasy, right?
Yes.
Dark stuff too.
Dark stuff, and it's Genesis based.
Oh, easy clap.
Yeah, right?
It's essentially Genesis core system, and then all the bullshit that Joe finds that are system agnostic things that he can throw onto Genesis.
That is very fair, I think.
Yeah. So it all started with my. If this was originally going to be a Weird West game, and then it transformed into a fancy like. Oh wait, is that an Amy?
Yes. I think it was.
Amy?
I thought I heard advanced.
I thought I heard a badoo.
Amy, speak, child. Because we hear the clickies of buttons. We know you're there.
Unless it's husband at the computer time still.
Possibly.
Anyway, yeah, weird is like it is a dark woodland kind of vibe.
Anything I can do to help?
No. Think like
You don't know?
Fae, but Grimm's fairy tale Fae.
I
Oh, Jesus.
am 100% down for that.
Yo, let's go!
Make sure everything here's still working.
Okay.
I switched which port was where.
You
Amy,
switch which port was where?
mute yourself,
Switched
ma'am.
USBs.
I don't know if she can hear us.
USB port not working.
Okay, so
Absolutely can't.
No way.
I lost all
I
my-
will mute her for us. There we go.
You didn't Ferber mute her. You muted her for yourself.
Ah.
There we go.
No, I don't have it plugged in. No.
I don't
Sorry.
know.
Haha. That is the button.
The big red button.
Big red button. But yeah,
But Joe, that does sound very cool.
like this,
I am very excited about it. It is the second game I've ever truly like ran, and I made all of this custom shit for it in Foundry, which sounds like you would have a lot of fun because you would hyperfixate on it like a motherfucker.
I don't need to be called out like this. But you are not incorrect. Yeah, I will think it over. I am getting my September. The latter half of September, I'm essentially going to be away for 2 weeks. But it only crosses like 2 games I'm in. Like it's a Rise, it's a Rise and it's a Star Wars Day, but it's like the very last couple days in September.
Mm.
So it may not be ideal to have me join in September.
Well, that's fine. There's plenty of weird to go around, and honestly, despite how rocky this game has been to try and let happen, I am not discouraged in the least. I will play this game, and I will make everyone sit down and play it with me. No matter how many times Z's power goes out, or somebody disconnects mid-session, or scheduling issues happen and the game has to be canceled ad hoc or some shit.
Let me take a look at my schedule in September.
Try all you like. Reality, I will not.
It is
be
an
there.
interesting lore setup, I will say that. I can't say much about the play of it as of yet because I have not been able to play it a whole lot.
I'm so sorry, Z. I'm so sorry.
The universe was like, oh, you made another gremlin character? Well, fuck you. You don't get another gremlin.
My favorite thing about this game is that because it is homebrew and the adventures I have planned out don't have as many pre-made NPCs baked into what is happening yet. I'm using the NPCs from people's backstories to facilitate adventures.
I love a backstory NPC.
I've got so many plans for all those little motherfuckers in that game. All you little goblins
back,
who are like,
Amy.
I made this cool thing. Hi, Amy.
I don't know if you know, but we heard your conversations.
I'm very sorry. We restarted, and I guess when I restarted, my mic unmuted.
So we put you on server
okay.
mute.
Thank you. I am very sorry. I don't know what you guys heard.
We heard you talking about your weird kinky sex life.
That's very weird considering we were troubleshooting a display monitor.
Oh, you're trying to fix your
Yeah.
second monitor?
It's fixed.
Hey.
Yes.
I have a second monitor now.
We'll just say this again. I know we've said it before, but should your schedule and other games fall into place in such a way, all of us would be happy to have you in any of our games.
Or else.
Or
Yes.
else.
Joe, you're not in either of Joe's games. Joe is a fun DM. Joe is a stressful DM, but Joe is a fun DM.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I have a question. Who are you?
You're
What
both
game were you talking about when you was like, you have plans?
That was weird.
Weird.
Ah,
Z
like
and Joe are
concern.
trying to get me into weird.
I
think you
also,
should join Weird.
I like specifically recently came to a breakthrough with what I was doing with some of your backstory NPCs that you don't even know about yet, Amy.
What?
I was really excited about it.
Yeah,
I've got a
so
whole thing for you.
Joe,
What?
Joe has the weird one, and then Joe also runs our cyberpunk one that we talk about a lot.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
Which, to be fair, that one is in a lot of ways more RP, less rollies
Yeah,
because of the
it is.
system,
Mm-hmm.
which we like. We enjoy in that game.
Yes.
And then, what's the other one? Yeah, Piper's, but Piper's is up in the air for now, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
And Spelljammer.
Spelljammer.
Spelljammer,
Dude,
which is the
Space
fucking
whales.
most like wondrous neon neon pastel wonderland. It's amazing.
Very
Spelljammer
good.
is
Very good.
near and dear to my heart.
But right now we're fucking around water deep
Mm-hmm.
with this
Yes,
purple
we
coated
are.
fey woman.
Yes.
Purple fey coated woman. That's the same thing.
Same shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
I rolled
What
an
was that
18 on
persuasion?
persuasion.
An 18 on persuasion. Goddamn. Okay. Okay.
Not my best bonus there, but I guess the charisma from the warlock is starting to kick in.
It is. It really is. Because guess what? You don't have a negative. You, in fact, have a positive 4 times over.
Mhm.
Okay. So just to make it clear right here, turning my brain off from figuring out wires and downloading new drivers. Farrah brought up using the shop to lay a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Saying
Okay.
you can stash your good stuff and keep that out of the line of fire, so
Mhm.
you're not getting to things you really, really, really don't want broken.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
if you're the last place that has any containers that they might be interested in, they're coming for you anyway, so you might as well lay a trap.
Fair enough. Okay. How does Wist and Clint look about Farrah's plan that she's speaking into existence?
Clint
Oh god.
Clint is confused because he doesn't remember a plan, or no. He is initially like, what, and then realizes that this is coming together, and he's not going to interrupt Feyre. He's not going to interject. He's much too polite to do that, especially to Feyre. But he just sits there with his happy, dumb old smile on his face.
Clint looks like Clint, in other words.
Yeah.
And Wist?
I think Wist is initially like a bit confused, and then she starts to think about it. And she's along for it. I think she does think you would have to be foolish to rob Dusk in particular.
They would have to be foolish.
But, she's down to watch a bit of foolery. Sometimes you just want to watch people get fucked up. She's a doctor.
Jesus.
watching like fucking Aussie man Destination F'd and like that's just me making money. That's just me earning more strange things.
See, the more people that get hurt, the more likely they are to need a doctor. Man, if only Whist dealt with money.
He'd be making so much.
That would be some like fucking chaotic evil ass, lawful evil ass. I don't know which one it is more.
It's evil for
Bullshit,
sure.
though. Of like, I'm a doctor. I'm going to injure people or help people get injured, so then they must need me.
Yeah, that sounds like comic ass shit. Alright, but back to the game. Dusk sips at her tea as she thinks, and you see that her antennae kind of twitch as she thinks. She like tilts her head, she kind of heaves and haws on it a little bit. She places her like now empty cup of tea that she starts refilling. That is an interesting idea. It has been boring lately. Alright, but on one condition.
What condition would that be?
You both have to buy something.
You know, you like a whist here where the purchasing does not involve any gold, or you trading?
Oh no, I do deal in money. I do run a business, after all.
Tell your friend that. Gesture said whist.
I run a business too. It's a different business.
Right. You do run a business. But I run a capital B business. And by that I mean I do touch money. Unlike Whist.
Touch. Are you allergic to gold or some shit?
I just think it's boring. What am I gonna do with gold? Stare at it, polish it a bit?
Are you just... Is it gold, or is it just all shiny as you're like, I don't care about it?
I don't know, really.
Can't ask to be paid in other types of shinies, you know that, right?
What am I gonna do with those? If I want to make something shiny, I can.
But you don't... You know what? Never mind. Figure just kind of shakes her head, looks at Clint, looks at Clint, who is still wearing a monocle, looks down at the fucking stress toy in his hand. Looks like he's already found his shit. It's not gonna turn him into some weird thing or nothing, right?
Oh, what did you find? Did you find something you liked looking at? What do you have there?
Clint will hold up the red dragon little squeezy, and he squeezes it at her, and he's like, "This guy is wonderful."
He is cute, isn't he? I've never named him. I should have.
And he brings it back to his face, looks at it, squeezes it, like, slowly. And Clint is going to think of a name.
AKA Joe pulls up a name generator.
How about Winston?
And they're a lot like Winslow.
Yep, that's why I like it.
think it's a very good name. It's very strong.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Squeezes the dragon.
Right, well, that right there is a little thing. It's about 4 gold. But that, on the other hand, is a bit more pricey. Do you know what it does?
He blinks. What does?
Points to the monocle.
She points to his face, and he blinks for a second and reaches up and puts a hand on his face and just goes, "Oh yeah. No, I have no idea what this does. It seems like a pretty shitty pair of glasses."
Audible facepalm.
Oh, Sarah, they are really cute. Where did you find them? No, that is a monocle, dear. It's only 1 glass.
Blinks for a second and looks at it and readjusts, like closes one eye and brings it in and out. And he says, "Huh, that makes sense. Though I don't know why you'd want a monocle. I feel like this is the middle ground between a magnifying glass and a pair of glasses."
That's why you hold a monocle.
It's very special, actually.
Well, what's it do?
Well, it's named the Detective's Monocle. And it makes it easier to spot things. And it also has a neat little trick. You see, you can use it to essentially see what happened in the past. Within the last 24 hours or so, the last day. Above table, you have advantage on investigation checks, and you can also use an action to twist the monocle's lens and view the area around you as it was at a time within the last 24 hours. You specify the exact time or a time relative to the present, such as at 3 o'clock or 3 hours ago, respectively. And then you see the area within 30 feet of you as it appeared at the chosen time, including any objects or creatures that were there at the time. The area does not move with you, it's whatever area you activated in. And any creatures that appear within the area as part of the effect, including anything worn or carried by it, is blurry. So you can't exactly identify them, but you can get essentially a picture of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also in shades of gray. So essentially, imagine like old school noir movie where there's like a recreation of the crime, but all the figures are blurry silhouettes.
I was thinking, like a security camera. But
Yeah,
your
kind of
idea
like that.
is much more thematic.
Yep. It's up to 10 minutes. You concentrate on it like it's a spell. It ends early if you move outside the area or if you end the effect. And it's once until the next dawn. Once per day.
That's pretty nifty. I could use this to look at all sorts of weird blobs. So, how many stories do I have to tell you before you hand it over?
Oh, that's the thing about that, is that I do take money, dear, so that one is actually about 65 gold for you because you're friends with Wistaria. So a bit of a
Clint,
discount there for you.
Clint, I have a question for you.
Sure, if I get to ask you a question too.
Oh, aye, clearly. You may have a question after mine. As a matter of fact, if that lad is Winston, is there a whist out?
Clint blinks for a second, and then looks at the little dragon. And then he looks back at Wisteria, and then He'd like it takes him a full like 15 seconds of processing time to understand that that is a joke and like you were making a pun. Even if even if Wisteria doesn't realize it's a pun and is making a genuine observation, it's hard to tell with her, but he's assuming she's making a pun. And Clint just fucking dies laughing. Like knee slapping, like the full body guffaws. His laugh is more like a cackle. Oh, that is a good one. Wait, stay out. And he looks at the dragon and squeezes it again. Hey, look. And he, not squeezing, winced in, squeezes and holds it, winced out.
Stereo starts to laugh as well. She's far more reserved in her laughter. It's like a very shy little chuckle, but it's definitely a laugh from her. Did you and Winst out there have a question for me?
He, like, stops and thinks. It's worth noting that every time there's like a significant pause where he goes into a thinking pose, he squeezes the dragon at least like twice, but slowly. Like the gears are turning with each little squeeze of the dragon. And he squeezes it once and then twice, and then will point a finger at Wisteria and say, "Yeah, how did you meet Miss Purple over here?"
Wisteria pauses and turns back to Duskmorn, and she goes, "Oh, that was centuries ago, wasn't it? And truth be told, I didn't really meet her personally. It was, well, it was, I was in the room, but with the way things were."
Go on.
Well, it was. You see, it was my sister that was doing all the talking, so I wasn't really a factor. But Dusky here needed some help with one of her items. And so, you see, somebody had taken it away from her. And so Camellia, she had to retrieve it, and she got a wee bit hurt in the process, and that's where I came in. So I met her then, but we didn't really talk.
Clint nods and, like, trying to pay close attention, and he'll say, that's interesting. I have another question, but I don't want to owe you a question, so I'm going to wait.
Start yourself another list of questions to ask Wisteria.
He's gonna wait, because Wisteria is very transactional to him, so it's only fair.
Wist is very transactional, so she does appreciate that. She will nod.
Right. I wish we could have met sooner. It would have been so much more fun.
Well, you did. And Wisteria looks to the others. Leave town not too long after that, if I didn't miss my timing.
Left. You can see that she kind of just like pauses a little bit in her like movement as she like turns to whist and just like slowly brings up the cup of tea to take a sip. As she carefully like places it down. Right, I left town a bit before after that. I relocated business. You know how it is. Location, 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 after all. Anyway, are you buying that, or did you want to keep browsing?
Where is our
Gil.
Gil? What?
Our gold is on Gil's page.
Oh.
We have
That's
more
where it
than
is.
enough.
Cool.
I was wondering. I was like, how much gold do you guys have? It's like, how the fuck? There it is. Okay. You guys have 982.
Mhm.
It'd be 65 for the monocle, 4 gold for the stress ball.
Or you can roll again.
Well, I find the stress ball less mechanically useful, but Clint really likes it.
4 gold. Y'all got the
yeah.
money.
It's hard to say. You said 65 for the monocle?
Yep.
Then how could I say no to either item? Because it's 69 gold.
Oh my god.
Yeah, boy.
I didn't even realize. How did I not realize? Okay.
Nice.
Nice. I'm just gonna copy and
Got
paste real
Winston,
quick.
and then we've got Detective's monocle.
It is in the handouts.
Feyre just
Hell
kind of
yeah.
lifts the bag of marbles and gives them a little shake. Why is this thing over here talking about methods and shit?
Right, the method models. I've had those for a few years now. You can use those to summon methods. Above the table, the pouch has, you're gonna roll to see how many marbles are inside of it. There's 4 types. You roll on the table to determine how many of each type you have. You can summon dust, ice, magma, or steam. Right? You can use an action to throw a marble into an unoccupied space within 30 feet of you. On impact, marble is destroyed and a method appears in the space. Its type depends on what type of marble you threw. It is friendly to you and your companions. It shares your initiative and takes its turn immediately after yours. It obeys any verbal commands you issue it, no action required by you. If you don't issue any commands, it defends itself from hostile creatures, but otherwise takes no actions. It remains for 10 minutes or until it's reduced to 0 hit points. If you throw another marble while a summon method remains, there's a 50% chance the new one is hostile to you and doesn't listen to you. But that's only if you try to summon a second one while there is already an active one.
It is a summoning machine, is what you're
It is a
telling
summoning
me.
machine. Yep.
So
You got a bag of marbles.
Feyre just she says, it summons methods, and Feyre kind of holds the bag out just a little bit further from herself. Stopped shaking it.
I wouldn't recommend that, actually. It's a bit dangerous.
You're like, no shit. Can't be labeling these things what is and isn't dangerous. Like, the monocle over there is not going to do nothing to nobody, but this thing will just fucking drop it off the shelf. Oop, well, we got nothing but magma methods around here.
That is a fair point. I don't think it was supposed to be on that shelf. I think that was supposed to be something behind the counter. She shrugs. Oh well. Did you want it? It's about 100 gold.
Farah is still kind of like holding this bag out, like arm's length away from her. You see the instant no starting to form on her lips, and then she pauses. And now I'm trapped in this back and forth of Farah, I don't know, likes this. But you gave Z a summoning machine.
Yeah.
And just kind of pulls back a little bit closer, kind of eyes the marbles inside.
If I could persuade you a little bit, it is perfectly safe as long as you only summon one at a time. And they do take a bit of force to break. You'd have to throw them pretty far from you.
True enough. You said you've had this thing for a couple of years, so you haven't a problem moving this.
I think I lost it, actually, for a bit. See, I redecorate every 6 months. I think I've lost it in one of my redecoration phases.
Expression on Farah's face. Just like, the fuck. You lose your bag of elementals several times over.
She looks unfazed. She just shrugs. She's like, it happens more often than you think. There's lots of different items I have here. I move them all every 6 months or so to keep things fresh and inviting.
Since you apparently not going nowhere fast enough for you to remember or put anywhere particularly special, especially considering you probably need to have it labeled and tucked somewhere safe. 80 gold.
Roll persuasion.
Fuck.
Oh, dear. I already put on a discount for you being Wistaria's friend. That's originally 150.
Trying to make sure I don't have some shit tucked up my sleeve. I don't think I do.
You don't have a like a fucking patron benefit or some class ability that's like you get a reroll once a day or some shit?
Nope. Not with Farah because I'm a level 2 warlock.
Yeah, that's fair. I got bup kiss right now for that, for any sort of reroll stuff.
Actually, fuck with this for a second. She's just like eye twitch, annoyed, and just kind of sighs. Well, so you know what? Let me go ahead and figure out how many of these are on there, because you're about to charge me 80 gold for just fucking 2 of these things. It's not worth it, is it? Pour out the marbles into her hand.
Alright. She watches. Pouch contains... Do you want me to roll, or do you want to roll?
You can roll.
Okay.
I
Do you
don't
want to
roll.
see the roll?
Do you
I
want
trust
to
you.
fear the roll?
Okay. Whew, not that. That's the wrong fucking number. Goddamn.
80 marbles.
Yes. 24 plus something. Like, nope.
We survive the rest of this campaign by
Damn.
launching methods at people.
Damn. Okay. Damn. So, the roll is 2d4 plus 2.
Mm.
9. Almost max.
Damn.
Fucking sheesh. As if Azadal pops out one by one by one by one. It's like, it's a good amount of marbles, I can assure you. So I think 100 is a fair price for those.
Farah's just kind of squinting at these things, double checking that each one of them is magical because she does have magic vision.
They are all magical. They are all summoning. Different flavors.
And she just kind of slowly nods and putting each one back into the bag one by one. Yeah, well, might as well. If nothing else, I can cause a little bit of shit here and there for this. Well, there's a couple of captains I know that probably reserve a nice bright red fiery method or two.
If you do use it, you need to tell me. That sounds like a very interesting story.
Yeah, it's not so much interest, more so annoying, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and spend 100 gold for this. So, monocle, dragon squishy, marbles, and then Wisteria's was a trade.
Yeah, that's because Wisteria is a friend and also picked the shitty magic item, quote unquote.
I feel like a bunch of the stuff Wisteria has given Dusk is in this shop.
Yep. I would say if you want to have Whist look at the bag that I picked out, you can. And instead of money, you can trade her a favor.
Oh, that's mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
How can I resist an offer like that? What is this bag?
My man.
A no questions asked favor.
Oh, this is especially fun considering Dusk.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that is something Wist would probably be willing to do.
Mm-hmm. Also, Z, I want you to roll me 9d4.
9d4? Okay.
Because you're going to roll a d4 for how many of each type you have.
That's 5, and that's 4. Got a lot of ones.
A lot. A lot of ones. Goddamn. Okay. That's 1, 2, 3,
Be amused
4
if they're all
ones.
ice.
I'd be amused if they were all mud.
Not a single 4.
Perfect. That's 4 of those. How many twos? 1, 2, 3 twos. So that's 3. Ah. Sorry, the Discord pop-up startled me. I can't spell methods. Where is it? Here it is.
MEPHIT.
Thank you. Any threes? 1, 2, 2 threes in the chat. 2.
And no
MEPHIT
fours.
MOUSE Method Mouse.
Okay. So it's 4 1s, 3 2s, 2 3s, right?
Yes.
Okay. Boop. You get 4 dust methods, 3 ice methods, and 2 magma. Not magma. Magma. Whoops.
Oh no, the Smeg Method.
No!
I felt that. I felt it about to happen.
No. It's because I mistyped method and I accidentally erased too much the second time. Anyway.
So it is the Steam one I did not get any of. Okay.
Yeah. And we'll put it in here. And then we'll copy and paste this again.
You know, you could call all of the marbles, alternatively call them little Fitbits.
I love that. I love that so much.
Alright. But so, there you go. And I'm trusting you all to subtract the gold from Gil's sheet.
Yes, I already did.
What's in the
Yeah.
bag? What's the bag, Amy?
So, Wisteria, imagine you like pick up the bag.
Mhm.
That is called the Trapper's Bag. And as you pick it up and you carry it, you kind of feel things clatter around in it, but it is light. But you just hear just like a clatter inside of it. But it looks like a backpack, about the shape and size of one. And you see Dusk, her eyes like light up as Wist brings this bag around, and she's like, "Oh, that is an interesting one for you. It doesn't have to be prepared. See, that allows you to pull out some random supplies it has in there. So essentially, inside of it is a special demiplane that houses a variety of miscellaneous trapping and adventuring equipment. You can use an action to reach inside and pull up to 4 random items. You roll a d8 for a random equipment. Up to 4 items can be taken from the bag, either all at once or with multiple uses. It regains all expended uses daily at dawn, at which time any item withdrawn from it magically vanishes and returns to the bag. An item vanishes early if you attempt to sell or trade it to another creature, and it can also be used as a normal backpack. You want to know what your items are?
Yeah.
It is a bucket, a 10-foot pole, 10-foot string, lock and tackle, oil flask, bag of ball bearings, bag of caltrops, hunting trap.
Those last 3 are very, very useful.
Yeah, it's probably worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll say the ball bearings is a bag of 1,000, the caltrops is a bag of 20. I don't know if that's the standard.
1,000 ball bearings?
That's the usual amount for
Yeah,
a ball
that's-
bearing.
You dump them out all at once, and it covers a 10-foot square.
Yeah.
1,000?
Yeah,
They're
it's
real
tiny
small.
little balls. They're tiny. You know what ball bearings are?
I think I'm
little
imagining something
balls
else.
all over the ground.
tiny marbles.
Tiny Okay, do you know fidget spinners?
Tinier marbles.
Oh, okay. See,
You know the tiny little balls in the fidget spinner that make it rotate? That's a ball
I-
bearing.
Yeah, see, I was thinking they were bigger, like...
No.
Yeah. Wist, like, kind of puts the backpack on, hops up and down a bit. It's about
It's
the
light.
right size.
No, it's light. It clatters a little bit. You feel things inside of it rummaging around, but it feels like your average, almost like empty backpack. Imagine the first day of school book bag. You've got like 2 notebooks and a folder in there. But it sounds like it's the end of the school year book bag in there.
It's about the right size for transporting saplings, isn't it?
It could be. If you wanted it as yours, at least.
Could bring back new plants. And? Did you say there were ball bearings in this?
She nods.
What do they bear?
Again, Clint is reeling, cry laughing, wiping the tear from his eye. He laughs really loudly, mind you.
Oh my god.
Cackles. And he wipes the tear from his eye and is like, "Oh man, be slimy, Wisteria. Not literally though. Just to clarify."
Whist looks at Clint and then looks at Dusk. And then she leads towards Dusk and she goes, "If there's a ball, I'll be ready with these, eh?"
Oh, Wish you all right. It's so good to have you around, really. But did you want that?
It does look very useful.
It's
And I
very
do
useful.
like balls.
Let's go to the supplies then there too. Anything to come in handy for you? Not to mention, the green color really does suit your hair.
Wisteria, her brows rise a little bit, and she looks down at the bag, and then kind of like tries to look back up at her own hair over her head. Do you really think so?
I think it looks gorgeous on you. It really is in season these days.
Gorgeous. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll take it.
Right, I know you don't deal with money. So, I have a little deal, if you're interested in the bag, at least.
Out comes the contract.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Wisteria will take out her little contract pad.
She's going to lean on the counter, her mechanical hands kind of propping her up. And she looks at Whist. And Whist, suddenly, her eyes look very sharp through the glasses. Not in a malicious way, but in a way that's just slightly unnerving of how closely and deeply she's looking at Whist. She's kind of looking as if she's looking into Whist's very soul through her glasses. Her eyes lighting up. A little, not a little, very unnaturally. In this slightly dim shop. Wistaria, I'll let you have the bag as your own. If you agree to do a favor for me, later on, no questions asked.
Wisteria narrows her eyes. Later on, when? By human standards? Or by ours?
Does it really matter?
Well, we've got to be precise if we're dealing in contracts, eh?
See, she smiles. By human standards. Within the next year or so? How does that sound for you?
Wisteria thinks for a second. Well, that's not long at all.
No.
Yeah. Why? Why not?
Why not?
There's a
very
tiny
fair.
choke sound from Feyre. She wants to interject with it. She's like, nope, that's not my circus, not my monkeys.
Wisteria will start writing out a contract.
Okay. Wisteria owes Dusk a no questions asked favor that Dusk can cash in for the next year. Or within the next year.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Wist will write it up and then slide it on over to Dusk.
Dusk reads it. And I imagine it's the paper that has 2 layers to it. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's carbon paper.
So she very carefully reads it. And then she nods and she very, very quickly rips off the back half and opens up a little filing cabinet below the counter and tucks it away into a little folder.
Wisteria puts the backpack on and gives it another little hop. Aye, feels good. Feels good to have. I've got a new bag. I've got new friends. I've got a new deal. And I've got these new bagpipes.
Just it's not my place. Because you Fey type seem to be real interested in all these deals. You probably should have added a few more caveats to that. Just saying, just a little thought.
Oh, but we're friends, darling. There's nothing to worry about.
Fyra, please. This is clearly above the threshold of human level stuff, like you and me.
I turns towards Clint, looks him up and down.
He whispers, like, puts one hand over his mouth and whispers, "You are part human, right? You're not half tiefling, half fae."
Fuck if I know.
Besides, it'll be alright. Dusky understands where I'm coming from. I didn't think she would do anything untoward. At least, not too untoward.
Of course not. What do I look like?
Eye up and down on Dusk. Doesn't say anything. Tail twitching.
She shifts her circular glasses slightly higher on her nose, fixing them a little bit. And as Feyre is eyeing her, she kind of like smooths over her floppy hat. Slightly posing a little bit. Just a little.
There is many thoughts and many words on Feyre's face, but she is a smart enough woman not to voice them.
Wisteria is just, she's so happy. Everything is coming up. Wisteria. Why would she have any reason to worry?
Exactly. Gotta stay positive. This is an old friend.
Hell yeah.
This is not my place. Should have kept my mouth shut to begin with. Either way, you now have three things that have been bought, more than what your little condition was, and you just got a fucking free ticket from this one over here.
Right. Well, a deal's a deal. So when do you want to set up this little trap? I need to move my things. Oh, important thing. Well, they're all important. Most important thing.
How fast do you think you can move the shit that you want to move?
They are very heavy, so it's a higher help for that. That's
I could help you.
all. She looks at Wist. She looks Wist in the eye. I wouldn't want you to hurt yourself. But I can get some help to move the heavier things for me. I'd rather sort through them all. I did just redecorate after all. I could probably have it done within 2-3 days at most.
There we go. Why don't you go about finding yourself some help and getting these things moved and stashed away where you want to stash them away, at least the real important stuff. Unfortunately, I think all the containers and things you're going to have to leave so it looks nice and enticing.
That's unfortunate. I really did like that one. But oh well.
Well, try to stop them from smashing too many things.
I would appreciate that. You know, some of these are very ancient.
Well, considering the fact that you just had marbles that were these elementals all over your shelf, yeah, I'm not particularly interested in seeing what happens when any of these other things get smashed, so we'll try to save as much as we can.
Thank you.
Once you get all that you want to get stashed away, you just give us a little call. And talk to Wisteria. She knows where we are, and the rest of us are usually over up at a troll school we just opened.
Troll skull?
Mm.
The
It's
one
a
Liv
dog
used to
bar.
own.
Yeah. You knew Liv?
Of course I did.
Good no or bad no?
A good no. I do have some of his old items here. Some of his old furniture that was forfeited after it closed down after he died.
He'd probably be interested in some of the returning of that.
She tilts her head.
Oh, he's a ghost.
Oh. I wasn't aware of that. I could-
Does Wisteria know? Wisteria does know about the ghost, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
she was introduced.
Yes. Continue.
Mm-hmm. Second. Huh. The more you know. Oh. He might not know about her. Oh well. I'll see him
No, but-
later. I'll tell him.
Know about who? Him know about somebody?
Yes. So, see, I've been here for a few hundred years now. And I did know Liv personally. Well, not too personally, of course. I did see him time to time whenever I went to the manor. I'm also talking about what happened to his daughter.
He might not know. Does he have some sort of descendant we need to be worried about?
I wouldn't say worry about. She moved away after everything happened. Has he not mentioned her?
To be fair, we've been kind of busy trying to get the place up and running and cleaned up and not falling apart.
Right.
Also
Well-
fighting monsters and generally getting into all kinds of trouble.
That sounds exciting. Alright, well, I'll have to talk to him about that when I see him. Probably bring his old bar stools back.
That raises a question. You don't happen to know anything about spooky magic coins, right?
Can you be a bit more specific? You see, there's lots of different coins.
Clint looked at Farah.
They got a little bit of trouble going around the city right now. It seems to be stemming from some demon summoning coins.
I'm gonna roll a thing real quick. Okay. Do you know what they look like? I've seen lots of coins in my day and age.
Huh.
I gotta roll for this shit now. Okay, Farah will kind of walk up to the counter and pull out the single coin that she still has and kind of hold it out, but she is holding it in such a way that it's kind of like clear she is not inviting Dusk to take it, but she can see it.
See, Dusk pulls out one of those little, like, jewelers, tiny little, glass eye thingies. I forgot what they're called.
A jeweler's loop.
Thank you. A jeweler's loop. And she kind of, like, bends down a little bit to get as close as possible with the jeweler's loop. And she got... Oh,
At advantage
okay.
because she's ancient.
That's true. At advantage because she's ancient.
Nat 20.
Yeah.
That's
Yo. Okay, hold on. You know what's funny? She got a nat 1 at first.
I knew I didn't like the sound of that okay. It's like, that's not a good sound. She doesn't know jack shit. She's gonna tell us lies. Roll again, please.
Oh, fuck, that's funny. Rolled a nat 1 and then immediately a nat 20. Okay, I imagine Feyre kind of just like turned it a little bit so the light caught it in a different way.
And there's, oh, I
Like-
thought it was a nickel.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Where did you find this?
Inside a monster.
Inside a monster. It got that far, really? That's dramatic.
Less monster, more demons or something. Something fiend in
Demon.
nature.
Right. I haven't seen these in a very long time. Oh, I'm sorry. I sold these a long time ago.
You sold the... Oh, boy.
That makes this real easy then. Who'd you sell them to?
Let me look at my record books. It was...
Clint says that and reaches down and pulls out his gun and starts checking that he's loaded it. Not in a
Jesus
threatening gesture to her.
I was about to say, Jesus fucking Christ.
No, but Clint immediately like, oh, whoever she sold them to is using them to do the bad thing. Now I know who to shoot.
Oh boy. Hold on. Give me a second.
While we're in a brief break, one of my author friends just bought me the original sketch to the painting somebody did of my fucking magic OC.
What?
Yeah, I'm losing my fucking mind.
Yo!
That's so cool.
It looks so cool. So much. She just fucking bought it for me. Look at it. Look at it.
Yo, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, that's original art, dude.
Yo!
I gotta figure out if I'm getting it framed here, or if she has to get it framed over there. But holy shit,
That's so fucking cool.
it's so cool, dude! It's so cool. That's so cool. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
And we've lost Kira for the rest of the night.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It's just, this is so nice of her. And Imitate is so cool, and I just came up with her on the spot, and then she got an oil painting and a card, and now I'm gonna have the sketch.
She got a card?
Yeah, dude, she has a card.
Dude.
She's Mono Red Bird.
Yeah, wait. Hold on. I am now like fixated on the part of you having an OC who is a Magic the Gathering character card. Like a fucking
Yeah, dude, she must have did the
Thing.
fucking outline and came up with her.
holy shit.
Dude!
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's what I'm fucking saying.
Bro, what the fuck?
That's so fucking cool.
Yo, how the fuck do we know Kira?
I don't know.
How the fuck did we find you in a Star Wars game?
Z said the words FFG Star Wars in a group.
Yeah, I
was
said
like, bet.
I did not know that was a Kira summoning ritual, but I stumbled across it.
Bro, what the fuck?
Loki makes me want to see if I could somehow magically summon some other people through these other random Discord channels I'm in.
Just fucking summon someone on the fucking Wizards team. Like, what the fuck? Like,
And I'm just
Friday.
like, oh, Roy, what are you doing here?
Yeah, just fucking someone she fucking knows. Like, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
Holy shit, this is so cool. And that's like, again, that's an actual oil painting. And then this is the study that he did before he did the oil painting.
Dude, that's so fucking sick.
It's so sick. It's just people like me don't get to have stuff like that. And
Then what? You fucking got it now.
I know, but
That's
Got
hype.
it.
bro, I'm actually crying in the club.
We could tell, we could hear it. We could hear the breakdown starting. The uber excitement.
I'm so happy. I'm sorry to distract, but I'm really happy.
You're fine.
Dude, no, this is fucking sick. Oh my god. But I did find the name.
Hey.
Hey. If you guys, if Kira, if you're okay.
I'm good to keep going. I'm good to keep
Okay.
going.
Finish our
Okay.
lore drop before Z taps out for the night.
Yeah, just get this real quick. She pulls out like a book. Right? It's thick as fuck. It's leather bound, it's black. The pages are like, they were white once, but with age they have tinted to like a soft amber color. As she flips through, you see that she goes back a good chunk of pages immediately. And it takes her a minute or two, but she eventually finds an entry. She's like, here it is. All right. Right, I sold these to someone. Well, they picked it up on behalf of someone else. But these were just a set of old coins that I had gathered and found. Don't know what they were doing in a monster. But yes, Oh, do you want the name of the person who picked them up or the person who bought them? Or both? I can do both.
Both would be useful, thank you.
Alright, so the person who picked them up was a Mr. Amergo. And he was picking them up for a Mr. Xanathar.
Mr.
Xanathar?
Amergo. Hold on, Mr. Amergo picked
Yes,
them up.
for Xanathar.
Xanathar paid for them. Mr. Amergo actually came to pick them up for him.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Cool. Go on. Sorry.
There were a set of 3 coins that I sold him.
Just 3 though.
Just 3.
That's interesting, then. Because we're finding 3 of them every night.
Really? Now that is interesting. And you said you found them in a monster.
How long ago did you sell this to Mr. Americo and or Xanathar?
I found. Let me see. The record says that I sold it about 85 years ago.
Well,
Was it 75? Hold on. Around that time.
And, not saying that you remember every single place that you sell to, but got any ideas on this Amerigo that you interacted with, or what type of species they are?
Will be a roll.
Mhm.
So this is a long ass time ago for her. He was a bit on the shorter side, I think.
Short, like, knee short, or short, like, waist short, or...
I think waist short. It's a bit hard to remember. It was a long time ago after all. He might have been a dwarf. Or just a short human.
Fairy just kind of nods. Well, that's more than we had about these coins than we had walking into the shop, so thank you there.
oh, I consider that a win.
Is there anything else I can get for you all? More tea?
I'd like to stay for tea.
She reaches for the teapot.
Is there anything we need to like rush to do? I don't think there is.
No, I don't think so.
Nope, don't
And
think so.
Then tea sounds great.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now because the Z brain has checked out for the evening already.
Yeah. Tea
So
time
long,
with
sea
dusk.
brain. It was nice while it lasted.
All right.
10:30 hits
So-
and I'm done.
Mhm.
And now we have tea with dusk, and then leave later.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave
You guys can
to,
have
to
tea.
watch over the tavern and then go hunting again this evening because I'm assuming with how you phrased it, Amy, of we can set up this bait and switch type shit for the shop after the festival.
Yes. After the festival. She has a big ass shop to sort through for her most valuables. And also to help my brain with organizing this shit.
One quest
After
at
the
a
festival.
time.
One quest at a time. But yes. After the festival, coincidentally, she will have everything ready. She will reach out. Or just show up with, like, Lift's old bar stools.
And apparently some hot lift floor.
Yeah. Fresh off the press. She's got the tea.
Yeah, but she also has like secrets and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so mad that that's about to be the last fucking thing on my stream tonight.
Sorry.
I'm not.